Hey everyone, welcome back to Stoker Review for another cigar review. And this week I'm doing a Dunhill Aged Reserva Especial 2003. You see, it's a pretty substantial size cigar. They call it the Robusto Grande. It's 5.5 by 54 ring gauge, and it's produced by General Cigars for Dunhill. It has a just say it's a Connecticut shade wrapper with a Connecticut broadleaf binder and Dominican filler. And the way they kind of all the tobaccos in the filler are aged from 2003, but how they age the tobacco is a little bit different from pretty much any cigar I've ever heard of. And they gave us a box. I'll show you the box right here. That's it, with 10 cigars in it. Sent a few of those bloggers, and inside of it was a nice little write-up about exactly what it's detailing how they age a cigar. I'm just going to kind of read it because it's a lot better than I can explain it. In 2003, weather conditions were ideal for tobacco growing. The result was an outstanding Piloto Cubano crop, and indeed it was a vintage crop. Once fermented, the crop was packed in tercios, I don't know if I said that right, 50 kilo bales covered with Yagua, which is a loose fibrous bark from the royal palm tree, and aged under optimum conditions. Yagua offers the best protection for the tobacco while at the same time allowing it to breathe. As the aging process takes place, the tobacco continues to fermenting without drying out, remaining fresh and smooth. This process usually takes between 1 to 2 years, during which time the tobacco produces a richer aroma and taste, making it all the more pleasurable smoke. And it goes on to say they aged it for 9 years. The 2003 crop delivers an exquisite aroma, taste, and flavor. Kind of the same things. The last line is what everybody says, just about. But anyway, I've had several of these so far, and I think it's about time to go ahead and get this on video. So, I'll go ahead and cut the cap off of it. Before I do that, let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's back to one. What a nice looking cap. Nice blind wrapper. Pretty cool. Pretty light wrapper. A really super earthy draw with just a hint of sweetness, but it's really, really, really earthy in the flavor. Now, the draw is pretty much right on. That milkshake draw, which I always consider to be the perfect draw. So, enough of that. I'll light this thing up. The General said that these cigars, it was around, I think it was the middle of January. So I smoked one pretty much the day it got in, right off the truck, which is kind of unusual, but I thought the conditions were fine. And then I smoked one about a week later, and then another one about a week later after that. So this will be the fourth one. You can see it puts off a whole lot of smoke. And the flavors on it so far, you really don't get much of that earthiness, to be honest. It's really buttery, actually, and it's got a lot of like cedar that's in the flavor. There's a hint of spice, a little bit of black pepper, but not very much, which, to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. There is a nice sweetness that kind of undertone through all of that. That so far it's a nice compliment. It's really not a dominant note. It's just kind of in the background there. So anyway, off to a decent start. I'm going to go ahead and smoke to about to the first third, and I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Hey everyone, I'm back. As you can see, I'm done with the first third. Now, it kind of just opened up more fully with the flavors. So the flavors really hadn't changed, but it has gotten a little bit more sweet than it did before. It's also picked up a nice creaminess about it, but it's not a really strong creaminess. It's actually taken a back seat to the rest of the flavor, kind of like the way the sweetness did when it first opened up. Now the sweetness is one of the more dominant flavors with the nuttiness and the cedar. So the creaminess is kind of in the background, kind of holding everything together. That spice note is still there, and actually kind of lingers a long time on the palate, which is kind of interesting. But it's smoking really smooth, and the ash holds on really well, as you can see. This actually, I've only tapped it one time, so it's burning really well. A lot of smoke. So far, it's pretty good flavor. I'm really enjoying the cigar. So anyway, I'm going to finish smoking this thing, or I'm going to smoke it to the end of the second third. I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Everybody, whoa! You can see, pretty big ash until it just fell off. But I'm at the end of the second third now. I'm going to take this band off. See, I already took the secondary band off, but it's so far it came off with no wrapper or rippage. But anyway, what I was going to say was the flavors have pretty much stayed the same. Not much has changed. It's still got that woodiness, the nuttiness, and the sweetness is in there. A little bit of spice, but it still has that creaminess too, but it's actually seeming to die down just a little bit, but I can still detect it. It's still on my palate. It's pretty good smoke so far. It's probably mild to medium in body and in strength. It's probably mild in strength. But it's so far, it's smoking really well. And I'm actually drinking a iced cafe con leche with it, and it's actually going really good with it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this cigar off, and I'll give my final impressions in a second. See you then. Everybody, I'm back. See, I'm at about the end of the cigar now. Pretty much all I'm getting now is a little bit of that spice and the woodiness, and it's pretty much all I'm getting. The sweetness dissipated pretty much right after the second third ended. And creaminess too. Creaminess started fading pretty quick in the second third, and it's completely gone now. Overall, I think it's a pretty good cigar. The price point on these is $15. To me, that's a little bit steep. It's a very good cigar. Burn grade construction is outstanding. The flavors are really good too. This is a good like early morning cigar, like one of your first cigars of the day. If you're a full body smoker or even a medium body smoker, it goes great with coffee, by the way. But $15 is a little bit too much for me. It's definitely one you should try out. Box worthiness, I'm not real sure, like I said, because the price point to me is a little bit expensive. But this is a Dunhill, and it's some really well aged tobacco, and they put a lot of effort into this cigar. So I can understand why it's $15, but for me it's a little bit too steep. But I definitely think this is one that people should try out. And now, if you like pure full bodied, like hardcore stuff, like La Flor Dominicana, Double Ajeros, or Cro Magnons, cane, stuff like that, this is probably not your cup of tea. But if you like medium bodied stuff, or you don't really care about the strength of the cigar, just a lot of flavor, then this is definitely one you should try to check out. It's a limited edition cigar, so it might be a little bit hard to find. But if you do a Google search, you'll probably find them in a couple of places now. They should be coming out now, so this should be readily available. And if your cigar shop has a general account, ask them about it, see if they're going to bring it in or not. So this is made by General for Dunhill. So General Cigar, if they have an account, they should be able to get this no problem. So anyway, that's about it for this cigar. On that note, I appreciate it. See y'all next time.